Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and subbing to me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Kingsguard, Leandros' Path. So anyway, y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that y'all can support the channel now because our Patreon is up. For as little as $5, y'all can gain exclusive access to our community Discord server and get all future upcoming not safe for work videos that we have planned. And the first one is going to be Tennis with Shuichi and Yuichi having their first night together, fully uncensored. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. Maybe it's time to remind you where to draw the line about such confidence. Leandros wrapped you under his arm and pulled you in tight. His knuckle went straight for your head as he playfully showed you who was in charge. Who's prepared to lose now? If you don't learn to hold your cards up and keep your face straight, you will never win against me. Hey, don't! Stop! Don't stop? No! As hard as you tried, it was just impossible to squeeze your way out of this. His muscles tensed every time he felt like you were about to slip through, and he ruffled your hair even more. He finally released you, and you jumped back, putting your hands up as in case he tried something else. I haven't done that in ages. Now my hair's all messed up. You're so going to get it. We'll see. Perhaps we should also make a bet of our own as well for old time's sake. I'm not falling for that again. You stepped away and approached a nearby mirror. Leandros really did a number on your hair. It was shuffled and kneaded every which way. You took a moment to straighten it out, taking extra care to cover over a spot that made you look as though you were balding. You stepped back for a moment to check yourself once more, but something appeared to be missing. Where is it? Here, sorry about that. Leandros placed the crown back on top of your head. Fell off when we were playing back there. I wouldn't exactly call that playing. It's all for a little fun. You really have grown up, you know. Just a few years ago, you used to be only up to my waist. Though I guess being up to my chest isn't much of an improvement. You're quite the slow grower. Father's almost as tall as you are, so I like to think I still have room to grow. There are times I wish you wouldn't. If you grow any more soon, I won't be able to do that to you. You can practice on all the soldiers you want, just leave me and my head out of it. Man, you're acting more childish today than usual. I suppose it might be because I feel like today is the end. The end? You don't mean... No, not that. What I mean to say is that there's a new road ahead of us. Once you become king, things just won't feel the same. I don't think it will be as dramatic as you're making it out to be. Sure, there'll be changes, but I believe that will happen gradually. Besides, we still have a lot of memories, right? You're not going to forget about those. I really don't have anything to worry about, do I? But then again, I suppose it is up to me to keep you in line at times. Who, me? Why, I'm a perfect little angel. Well, our perfect little angel. What do you say we head on down to the dining hall? I imagine you must be very hungry. Yeah, I think I think we've kept Marilyn and Esther waiting long enough. I'm ready whenever you are, Your Majesty. Alright, back to formalities. It's become more of a necessity to appeal to the nobles and clergy. I can't afford to slip up under their imperious eyes. If you made even the smallest mistake, it would be judged with the highest level of contempt among the eyes of the nobles, and you knew it would only be because he was a beast man. But it wasn't just the nobles. The issue wound its way down through the pecking order. There were still many common people who weren't so eager to change their opinion of beastmen as well. Havana might have been the first city to truly accept them, but strangers visiting from afar had other thoughts. The stigma on all beastmen might have been as unfathomable as the deepest ocean trench, and it may be that way for many centuries more. It would have been a pipe dream to believe that all people could open their minds. But maybe being king, along with the support of your father, you might be able to alter popular opinion rooted so deeply in fear and contempt. That's going to take a lot of work. People cling to their old ways very, very, tightly. You stepped into the room, believing you woke up on time, but as you looked around, you noticed the seats were vacant. Apart from the servants who stood in the corners of the room, you and Leandros were the only ones here. Guess I was late after all. Oh, but Prince Jake, we've been waiting for you. Have Marilyn and Esther already ate? You were the first to arrive, sir. They didn't show up? Perhaps we are earlier than we expected. Would you like me to fetch them? No, that's all right. I wouldn't want to be a bother. Very well, sir. We have made an assortment of dishes today. Please choose any that you like. You seated yourself, and a large dolly was brought forth, packed with multiple entrees. That is quite the banquet for only a few people. You must not eat with us often. I suppose it has been quite a while, but still, is such an amount really that necessary? It's a special occasion, after all, and it's not like all this food goes to waste. It is as the It is as the prince says, much of this food also feeds us servants. Second, y'all. Water time. Oh, Lord. Some good bubbly. Sir Leandros, would you like for me to plate you as well? Thank you, but I really need to watch my weight. You? Really? I can't be gorging myself on food, no matter how good it smells or how tasty it is. Part of my job requires that I stay in shape so I can keep you safe. True, I have noticed you've been a bit slow lately, considering that I can outrun you. He lightly patted his stomach and felt a bit of his bulk underneath his soft fur. Yep, I can see it. It seems as though you have overindulged myself far too much lately. I'm a shameful example of the Yasan Knights. That's it, I'll have to push myself to do an additional 2 miles of jogging each day. I don't know what you're so worried about. Thousands of men and beastmen would kill to have a body like yours. And I'm pretty sure I shouldn't have to remind you of the ladies ogling you every time you walk into Rose's Cathedral. Heck, even some of the men can't help but stare. Regardless of how others see me, it's still clear that I will need to push myself even harder. The servant scooped up a hefty helping of multiple foods, and you started off on a sandwich packed with meats and cheeses. Oh my goddess! What did they put in this? This is a Brahmish breakfast favorite amongst the nobles. A sandwich composed of poached eggs, caramelized bacon, honeyed ham, and Munster... Jesus Christ, that sounds good! Give me! I can almost see the pearly gates! Is it really that good? I wouldn't be stuffing my face if it wasn't. Shall I prepare another plate for yourself, my lord? As you continued to scarf down food, you noticed Leandros was staring a bit more than usual, most noticeably at your plate. He brought a hand up to the corner of his mouth and discreetly tried to pull off a yawn, though you knew he was wiping away a bit of drool. You know, working on an empty stomach is one of the worst things to do to your body. How are you supposed to protect me if you're scrunched up and keeled over because of hunger pains? I suppose you're right in that regard. Perhaps I shall have a little bit then. Leandros was helped with an even larger portion than yourself. You could tell that he really enjoyed the food, as his definition of a little bit was 2 plates of food more than your own. While the two of you dined, he spoke more about the proceedings for the coronation. Once you were finished here, there would still be quite a bit of time before the crowning ceremony took place. At this time, you assumed most of the nobles would be getting ready by now. The ladies donning their most elegant gowns and retouching makeup, while the men smoked cigars and had their shoes shined. And soon you would have to present yourself before them as the face and future of the nation. Other than the few times you had to attend court with the local townspeople, you never really presented yourself among the higher class. You always acted what was natural to you, but today was supposed to change that. Apparently change you. Afterwards, we shall walk out in a line through the east doors. The coronation will end, and... Jake, are you paying attention? You seem to be in a stupor. I think I need to see my father. What for? Is there something wrong? I need his counsel, something to set my head straight before I head out for the coronation. I believe he is in a meeting, so I have no clue as to when he will be available. You sighed and looked down. You went into the habitual motion of using your eating utensils to swirl and mix around your food. Perhaps I may be able to help you if it's advice you seek. Well, I suppose it might just be my nerves getting the best of me again. You have to deal with nobles far more often than I do, and I know it's different for you since you're a beast man. But what should I do? How should I act? With so many of them watching, I'm afraid of embarrassing myself in front of the whole nation. That sounds like a first coming from you. I didn't realize you cared that much about what others thought of you. Yesterday I thought about that. I thought that as well, but I guess I was just a little stunned after all that happened. Normally I wouldn't care, at least when it came to the servants or individual people, but how they perceive me is quite different from being judged by the entire nation. All their eyes will be on me, all their expectations, their thoughts, everything will come down to this initial appearance. It's not something I can afford to screw up. I guess you're right. Growing up in the castle was particularly difficult for me. I always knew that I was treated differently, even at my young age. Same as you, I suppose. Second, y'all. Water time. Oh, that's good. It's a good can of bubbly. Alright. It wasn't until I started training to become a soldier that your father and the previous captain of the guard taught me the customs of the nation. I had to learn the hard way about how the world worked, at least here in Yasan. With nobility, I was taught to act dignified yet humble. Most nobles are quick to judge and base everything on first impressions. Outward appearances also mean everything to them. I had to change how I kept myself, how I stood, how I walked, how I spoke, how I ate, how I bowed, where I looked, and how long I looked. I believe that would have been enough to avoid their glares of contempt. It wasn't. So I worked even harder to change, pushing myself through the ranks of the knights in hopes to get some kind of recognition. But no matter how much I changed, and no matter how many medals or titles adorned me, to them I was nothing more than a stray cat picked up off the street. But you are far more than that. You've managed to become captain of the guard. That has to speak for something. It did. Many nobles became worried over the power that I wielded, and it stirred quite a few of them into action. Your father, thankfully, managed to quell their uprising and reminded them of who was in charge. I worked hard to prove my worth to them until 1 year later, some of them began to change their minds once they saw that I wasn't as power-hungry or barbaric as they once thought. It felt satisfying to get their approval, but I felt as though I was but a fragment of my true self. I had changed so much to meet expectations that I felt disappointed that I had to do so much for those who would never bother to take the time to see me from beyond a beast. You can never get everyone to agree with you. It took me so long to realize that, but won't let you forget it. I can judge you for every little thing you do. They are just a minority in a vast sea of people. Don't change yourself to meet their expectations. Just be your usual self. Your father would say the same thing. And of course, you are about as stubborn as an ox beast man. Ox beast men I've met, so I imagine they will be the ones moving out of your way. Hey! Just know that you have my support. Your father, Kashiro, I bet even the common people would be more than willing to follow you. Oh, I really just talked there without asking if you were following along. Was it of any help? Most definitely. Thanks, Leandros. I needed that. Doing better now? Yeah. I'm not gonna let anyone sway me. If worse comes to worse, I can always personally sock them in the face. If you want to do some real damage, you could always ask me. That isn't as much fun, though I'll think about it if they really have it coming. Yet again, the doors to the dining room burst open. You began to wonder if every time you ate breakfast there would be an interruption. This was 3 in 3 days already. A lone soldier stormed in and looked around frantically. Once he spotted Leandros, he scurried over to his side and got down on one knee. My most gracious apologies for disturbing you, sir, but there is a matter we must inform you about. Yes, what is the matter? We have an intruder. An intruder? He forced his way through the front gates of the Gold District and managed to make it all the way up to the castle doors. We're doing all we can to stop him, but he has started to overpower us. Even our strongest soldiers are having difficulty holding him off. Another knight appeared. He looked a bit worse for wear as he clutched his stomach and rested on the doorway. His armor was bent and beaten, and his face was a lumpy mess of bumps and bruises. He breached our defenses! The knight collapsed to the floor, and Leandros ran over to assist him. Hold tight! You must get the prince to safety! Who did this? The wounded knight passed out, and Leandros checked to see that he wasn't dead. He sighed in relief when he found he was simply unconscious and rested him on the floor. It was a lone beast man. Looked to be a rhino. Second, y'all. Wait, what? Oh my god. A rhino, you said? And he's a beast man? Yes, sir. He's huge, built like a brick house. Did he happen to give a name? No, but he was demanding to see you, though. Why did you not come to me sooner? We were only doing as we were told, sir. You asked us to question anyone suspicious at the gates, and he got so angry all of a sudden. He pushed himself past us, and we did our best to stop him. It wasn't enough. It would take 100 of our men to bring him down, likely. Sir, I will address this. It is my fault, after all. Take this soldier to the hospice so that he can be treated. Right away. The soldier picked up his wounded comrade and hurried out of the room. Leandros? Sorry. Stay here for the time being, alright? I'll be back. Is that Ramos that we're talking about? Likely, but I can't be sure. Until I find out, stay here and lock the door. I'll send another soldier up to protect you. I'll come back to you I'll come back to get you once I can confirm that it is safe. But what if... Before you can finish, Leandros was already bolting out the door. He started for the door as well. Sir? I'll be back. Are you sure that is wise? Master Leandros hasn't confirmed that it is safe for you yet. I can't just wait here. Lock the door behind me. That's an order. Your Majesty... You knew exactly where to go by the sound of clashing swords and armor. The occasional screams of soldiers groaning in pain added to your worry. Ah! Leandros, get your ass down here! The Beastman's booming voice nearly tripped you as you made your way down the stairs. Whatever Leandros did to make the intruder that angry, you were about to learn soon. You were just thankful that it wasn't you he was demanding to see. Jake! Kashiro! Thank the heavens that you were still alright. Why have you come down here? You must not let those assassins find you so easily. I don't think it's an assassin who made his way here. What are you talking about? I have an idea who it might be. Leandros has already moved on ahead, so we need to support him. No, you need to hide. I will assist him. What about Father? Shouldn't you be by his side? I have already made sure that he is safe, but you? I'm not going anywhere but to Leandros, so don't tell me otherwise. If this is who I think it is, then there should be nothing to be worried about. Don't worry. If anything goes sour, I will flee. I already know I'm going to regret this. Stay close. The hall was strewn with beaten soldiers. Many of them were lying unconscious while others were struggling to inch away. At the end was the beastman in question, hurling his body around like a sling and slamming into soldier after soldier. Havana was supposed to be a city with a concrete defense, and the castle should have been the ultimate bastion. Yet somehow one lone man managed to make it this far. He roared in the face of oncoming soldiers, and they froze in place, shaken and unwilling to take another step further. Leandro stood nearby with the soldiers. Unlike them, he stood calm and unfazed without a weapon in hand. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Oh, yo. Oh, man. Crazy. Is this just because he wouldn't go drinking with him or something? It's gonna be really funny if it's just one big misunderstanding and he's just taken out half the castle's defenses just because of that. I can see how an assassin might be able to slip through that. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!